Inhabited areas of Jains are found around Tiruparangunjam. Kasi Bispanada Temple is at the top east side of the mountain. There are two Bahubali sculptures in front of this temple towards north. In Kasi Bispanada Temple, with the natural springs on the background, there are some rock-cut sculptures. You can reach there through the bridge built here. On the western side of the hill, there are some natural cave sites at high altitude. There is a spring inside the cave site. Above this, a Jain school is situated which functioned during 2nd century BC. There are also Brahmi inscriptions and stone beds. When you view outside from this cave, it looks like an island. On the back side of the Palaniyandava temple, we can see Teethangarar sculptures. There are beautiful rock-cut temples in Tenparangundram. During the reign of King Pandya, this temple was transformed into a Shaiva Siddhanta temple. The mosque of Hazrat Sultan Sikandar Badshah, an Islamic religious guru who lived during 9th century AD, is at the top of Tiruparangunjam hill. The stairs way up to this hill is in good condition, and here and there are trees to take rest. Tiruparangunjam Murugan Temple was developed by the Pandya king's army commander Satan Ganapati, and later on it was extended during the reign of Nayakars. An ancient pond situated on the northwest was reformed and renovated. Saravana Poikai, the pond which is situated in the east direction, is a special feature of this temple. In the Kurandai Meenachi Temple at Avaniyapuram, the goddess Meenakshi blesses in the form of a little girl. Thirugnana Sambandar came to Madurai during the 7th century AD. Due to a fiery argument, he dropped his palm leaf written records into the Vaigai river. It moved against the flow of water and secluded in the river bank, and that place is called as Thiruvedagam. The Edaganatha temple was built on the east side of the river in remembrance of this incident. Sacred rituals are conducted on the bank of the river where the palm leaf records had been secluded. This is the Sri Maheshwari Suyambo Manikandeshwara Temple in Killamathu, which was worshipped by Sambandar. A 400 years old natural spa is found in Narayanapuram. This spa water mixes with herbs and flows from nearby hills. In Janakaburi, which is also called as Solavandan, the Janaka Narayana Perumal Temple was built by Sundarapandian during 5th century AD. The Tenkarai Siva Temple was built by Parakrama Pandya in 12th century AD. Rare inscriptions about land measurements is around the inner sanctuary of temple. In front of the temple, there is a self-victimizing hero stone called as Navakandam. An ancient sluice water tank is nearby the south shore of canal, which was built by Pandya kings. In Kuruvitturai, around the sanctum of Chitraratha Vallabha Perumal Temple, built in the 9th century AD, are found inscriptions of Parandaka Veera Narayana. An archaic Sri Mallikarjuna Linga temple is at the top of Perayur Melaparangiri hill. Down the hill, there is another ancient Subramanya Swami temple. Rare statues and ancient tools of war are there in Saudarpatti Meenachi Temple. This pristine temple was built very earlier, that is, even before the development of this place called Attipatti. The Gopal Sami Hill is a cultural center which is in Tenkasi Highway, adding additional beauty to the nature. It is also known as Thangamalai. This hill appears like a Garudalvar and gives extra speciality to this place. In this traditionally built temple, a person named Malai Sankarayar constructed the portion from the Sanctum Sanctorum to the entrance to Rock Cave. The Thirumogur Kalamega Perumal Temple is an artistic excellence of the Pandya kings. Even after so many years, the temple stands with beauty. There is a beautiful pond and garden in front of the temple. The Kodal Aragar Perumal Temple is a proof for the ancient architecture of Vaishnava temples. Madana Gopala Sami Temple is an illustrious temple for Lord Sakaratalvar. Tiruvapudayar Temple, which is situated in Sellur, displays a natural statue. Lord Siva worshipping himself in Immayilam Nanmai Taruva Temple. On the month of September, the sun's rays directly falls on the sanctum sanctorum of Mukteshwara Temple. Meenachi Sundareshwara Temple, which is at Tirumangalam, is 800 years old. The ancient Mariamman Temple is in southern part of Tirumangalam. Meenachi Temple, which is in Kulasekaran Kotai, is situated at north towards Vadipatti. Vishnu Temple with ancient symbols is in Ayan Kotai. An ancient temple with brass sculpture of Parashakti is situated nearby. Cone-shaped tower made of single stone in Goripalayam Mosque in Madurai. The tributary river of Vaigai, named as Kridumal Nadi, flows towards south of Thuvariman Rangaraja Perumal Temple. A 600 years old Meenakshi Temple has been renovated in Thuvariman. Due to injustice, Kovalan was killed as per the epic history Silapadikaram. As a remembrance, Kovalan Portal has been developed in that place. Kovalan was Kannagi's husband. Kannagi burnt Madurai because of the injustice done to her husband Kovalan. A temple had been built in the name of Kannagi. Here she is worshipped as Sellatamman. In the location of the huge palace of the later Pandyas, there is now only the entrance of the palace is left out, and it is called as Vittavasal. This is the palace constructed by one of the Nayakar kings who was called as Thirumalai Nayakar. After the reign of Pandya kings came the Nayakar kings. King Thirumalai Nayakar built this palace during the 15th century AD. The west side of the palace functioned as a road for car chariot and the Nandavanam for queens. The 10-pillar structure is the remaining portion of the Thirumalai Nayakar Mahal, which stands as an historical example. Lord Kallalagar from Aragar Temple taking part in the ritual ceremony of entering Madurai Vaigai River. Dance hall on the south side was built by Thirumalai Nayakar in 15th century AD. There are also sculptures of Thirumalai Nayak with his wives beside him. This is the half-built plain tower of Aragar Koil. Padamudir Cholai, which is 3 kilometers away on the hill. Here is the oldest blackberry tree, supposedly where Lord Muruga appeared before Avvai. A holy water tank is at the far north side of the hill. Many devotees come here to take a holy dip in this Nubura Gangai. This sacred spring water emerging from the foot of Nubura Gangai Amman flows about 8 kilometers towards the pond which is in Poigarai Patti. The spring water reaches the square-shaped water tank built by Nayakars. This is a rare picture which has been captured during the festival of Gajendra Moksha Teppam Tiruvizha in 1932. Watching sunset from here gives a happy experience. Keeping in mind this pool as a model, King Thirumalai Nayak constructed the Vandiyur Mariamman pool. There is a big hall in the midst of this beautiful pond. During olden days, people lighted oil lamps around the domes and enjoyed the beauty of the pool. Vaigai Mandapam was constructed for the purpose of ritual celebration of Kallalagar entering the Vaigai river. The weapons section, which was once without any human presence, is now very busy with the cities in the background. Weapons used during war by Nedkattum Sevil, Palayakarar and Pulithevar is preserved in the Madurai Museum. During 1764 AD, on October 15th, Khan Sahib, who was the governor of Madurai, was executed by the British. A part of his body is buried here, and a mosque has been constructed over that place. The tomb of Alandurai, who hung Kattabomman, is in the European grave. In 1780 AD, after a long wait of 8 years, Rani Velu Nachiyar fought against the British to recover Sivagangai. After victory, she worshipped Kochadai Muttaya Temple. This is the only goddess she worshipped after the victory. The first church of Madurai was built by Veerama Munivar, who wrote Thembavani. Every day he bathed in the pool which is in front of the temple. The British collector Rose Peter Pandian gifted gold jewellery to this temple as a thanksgiving. He was buried in 1828. The bamboo bridge was deflated and AV flyover was constructed for the easy to and fro of the car chariot of British. Sri Ramana Mandira is the house of Ramanar, where he was enlightened in 1896. On February 2, 1897, Vivekananda returned from Chicago conference and gave a discourse in Madurai College School. During 18th century, St. Mary's Church was constructed with the European fine art architecture. While travelling by plane, the church appears in the form of a holy cross. After Palayakarar, the polygars, the British brought in Jamindars. The Saptur Jameen mansion is still with the same look. Segan Palgu, who printed Holy Bible in Tamil first, has visited Arapalayam Crossroad Church. This ancient church in Railway Colony was built especially to worship in English language. During 1901 AD, the fourth Tamil Sangam was formed in Madurai by Panditurai Devar. Very ancient Tamil palm leaves are preserved here. A British theosophist, Annie Besant, supported the Madurai Brahmanyana Sabha, which was created by indigenous leaders. This council is a source for Harijan's entry to temple. There are many century-old books in this library. During 1904, Bharatya worked as a teacher in Sethupathi School. The residence of Paridimar Kalanger in Vellacheri is transformed into a monument. General meeting of freedom fighters was usually held in Vilakathun. Queen of Indian music M.S. Subbulakshmi was born in this house. Matya Viswanatha Das, who added patriotic hymns into his plays, died while on stage. A monument is built in Tirumangalam in remembrance of him. During 1914, the municipal court, which was built for Fingerprint Act by British, is at Keelakuyilkudi. This was a war workshop started by Subramanyam Siva during 1920. Wooden ladder which is nearby was used by Gandhiji to climb up on the stage. This is a society formed for drama artists during 1924 by the great Sankaradas Swamigal. On September 20th of 1920, Gandhiji visited this home, which is situated in West Marsi Street. It is here that Gandhi switched over to a simple dress. On September 22nd of 1922, he spoke in a general meeting at Gandhi Portal. During 1946, he visited Meenachi Temple. As a remembrance of this incident, a mandapam was constructed in front of the temple. After Gandhiji was shot dead, his blood-stained coat is being preserved in the Gandhi Museum. Part of the ash has been kept here. A model of Gandhi hut and documents has been kept here as an exhibition. During 1949, Jawaharlal Nehru worshipped in this temple. Due to his visit, this temple is named after him. As a remembrance of national leaders, their images have been fixed on the tower of Navanitha Krishnan Temple, which is 200 years old. On the tower of Ramayana Savadi, Gandhiji's image has been fixed along with figures of God. Images of national leaders are in single tower also. Culture and traditions are still followed in Madurai. The people of Andaman village hold their footwear in hands until they reach the boundary of their village. Traditional dolls made of sand is an occupation for Villacheri village people. During the Pongal festival, a brave game called Jallikattu, meaning controlling bull, is held every year at Alanganallur village. Lakhs and lakhs of people get together for celebrating the Chittirai festival. People praise our ancient culture. The pride and tradition of Madurai will remain until the world exists.